So we are up here. We're in BLM land, about 7 or 8 miles outside of Leadville. And there's snow in the forecast tonight and tomorrow. And initially, my goal for tomorrow was to hike Mount Sherman, which is one of Colorado's 14ers, which is a peak over 14,000 feet. But I realized I forgot a hard shell jacket. So if it's snowing, I'm just going to get soaked, unless it's really cold and the snow doesn't stick to me, which is a possibility. So I'm gonna see what the snow conditions are like tomorrow, and maybe go for the summit. But I guess I'm up here. It feels kind of stupid being up here in a two-wheel drive van with snow in the forecast, especially because I'm above tree line, and anything could happen up here. But I figure I'm close enough to the town that if something really bad happens, I just need to walk 8 miles and I'm back in Leadville and I can get help, warm up, whatever the case may be. And I have all of my outdoor layers, well, except for my shell. So I might be a little soggy by the time I get to Leadville, but I have 2 puffy jackets. So I can't imagine I would soak through both of those tomorrow. Especially, like I said, like snow up here in the mountains, it's not very wet usually. And especially this high, I'm expecting the snow would just kind of fall off of me. So we're gonna see how that goes. And making dinner right now. It's just some pre-made frozen curry. And yeah, we'll see how the summit goes tomorrow. Hopefully there's not a bunch of snow drifts stranding me up here, because that would suck. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm kind of nervous about the weather coming in, and I feel like I'm pushing it a little bit. I'm solo, there's nobody else up here. It's kind of scary, but it's also kind of an adventure, and I think that's what this is all about. That's why I'm building out this van, so I can have more adventures like this, and do more stuff outdoors, even in the off season, which this is. And I've got my heater running right now. It's 62 degrees in here, so I'm nice and comfy, and it's pretty great. It really beats a tent. So without further ado, I think it's time for dinner. Alrighty, it is about 6:30 and it's just starting to get light outside. Did not have the most restful night's sleep up here. I think a lot of that comes down to, when you're at 12,000 feet, your heart just doesn't stop beating. And then, yeah, it was pretty chilly. The heater, it's running at full tilt right now. I'm sure you can hear that. The heater kept me warm, but there was a lot of, I don't know, too hot, too cold going on. And then this wall here is not insulated at all, so it's kind of like I had to keep rolling over because my back would get cold and my front would get too warm, so you switch. And yeah, so not great, but surprisingly no snow yet. Lots of wind, but I think the wind is calming down. The wind is supposed to be much calmer today, so we might have a little window here where a summit push would be viable. So I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna see what happens. I keep looking at the sky, expecting it to get worse, but it almost looks like it's getting better. I'm a little sketched out because I'm about to lose sight of the valley, and I'm starting to think this whole idea, regardless of how the weather actually pans out, is kind of a bad idea. This is a pretty popular hike, and there's no one up here today, so I think that's pretty telling. And then I think it's just generally bad practice to go on a longer hike when a storm is in the forecast. So I'll probably turn around pretty soon here, but the weather is holding, so it's tempting to keep going, but I really don't want to get stuck out here. This whole hike is just scree, and I don't like slippery scree, so it's probably smart for me to turn around pretty soon. So we'll see how smart I am today. Well, I gave up. I'm nervous about going any further because it could just start dumping wet snow on me at any moment. And it seems like the storm is warmer than expected. So what that means is when it starts snowing, rather than the snow brushing off, it'll start melting into my layers, and then I start wetting out, which is dangerous. I'm probably only about a mile from the van right now, and that's about as far as I want to be in these conditions. I'm glad I turned around. Almost time for goggles. Oh yeah, it's coming in now. I'm so glad I'm not up there. Woo! Woo-wee! It is nice to be inside again. Well, that was a good little adventure. I guess we still got a little bit more adventure of driving out of here, but the road just has a dusting on it and it's all downhill, so that should not be any big deal. So I know the audio in this video is garbage, and so is the editing, but I'm just trying to put content out there right now. I really am interested in making content for YouTube, and I think as I go along I can add more polish, but I'm just kind of experimenting right now. So if you're still watching this, thanks thanks for sitting through this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.